French and British interludes in the Dutch East Indies refer to a relatively short period of French and followed by British rules on the Dutch East Indies that took place between 1806 and 1815. The French ruled for a period between 1806 and 1811. The British took over for the period 1811 to 1815, and transferred its control back to the Dutch in 1815. The fall of the Netherlands to the French Empire and the dissolution of the Dutch East India Company has led to some profound changes in the European colonial administration of the East Indies, as one of the Napoleonic Wars was actually fought in Java. This period, that had lasted for almost a decade, witnessed a tremendous change in Java as vigorous infrastructure and defense projects took place, followed by battles, reformation and major changes of administration in the colony. Prelude. In 1800, Dutch East India Company was declared bankrupt and nationalized by the Dutch government. As the result, its assets, which include seaports, storehouses, fortifications, settlements, lands and plantations in East Indies, were nationalized as the Dutch colony, the Dutch East Indies. Based in Batavia, the Dutch ruled most of Java, conquering coastal West Sumatra, wrestled former Portuguese colonies in Malacca, the Moluccas, South and North Celebes, also in West Timor. Among this Dutch possession, Java is the most important one, as the production of cash crops and Dutch-controlled plantations was located there. On the other side, on the world, Europe was devastated by the Napoleonic Wars, a conquest and revolution that shifting the politics, relations and dynamics among the European empires and nations, which affecting the colonies in the Far East. The Netherlands under Napoleon Bonaparte in 1806 oversaw the Batavian Republic, became the Commonwealth of Batavia and then was dissolved and replaced by the Kingdom of Holland, a French puppet kingdom ruled by Napoleon's third brother Louis Bonaparte. As the result, the East Indies during this time were treated as a proxy French colony, administrated through Dutch intermediary. The power struggle and rivalry between France and Britain has spilled to other parts of the world, involving the colonies of each empire in Americas, Africa, as well as in Asia. Since 1875, the British has consolidated the rule in Bencoolen on western coast of Sumatra, and also has established the rule in Malaccan Strait, the island of Singapore and Penang. As the British coveted the Dutch colonies in the region, the French-controlled East Indies was bracing for the predicted incoming British invasion. French rule 1806 to 1811. In 1806, King Lodewijk Napoleon of the Netherlands sent one of his general, Herman Willem Daendels, serving as Governor-General of East Indies based in Java. Daendels was sent to strengthen Javanese defences against perceived incoming British invasion. He arrived in the city of Batavia on 5 January 1808 and relieved the former Governor-General, Albertus Visa. He raised new forces, built new roads within Java, and improved the internal administration of the island. Daendels' rule was a harsh and martial one, as the colony prepared for the British threat. He built new hospitals and military barracks, and new arms factories in Surabaya and Semarang, and a new military college in Batavia. He demolished the castle in Batavia and replaced it with a new fort at Meester Cornelis, and built Fort Lodewijk in Surabaya. However, his best-known achievement was the construction of the Great Post Road across northern Java from Anjar to Panarakan. The road now serves as the main road in the island of Java, called Jalur Pantura. The 1,000-kilometer road was completed in only 1 year, during which thousands of Javanese forced laborers died. The reign of Catholic King Lodewijk in the Netherlands ended the centuries-old of religious discriminations against Catholics both in the Netherlands and in the East Indies. Previously, the Netherlands only favored Protestantism. The Catholics were permitted freedom of worship in the Dutch Indies, though this measure was mainly intended for European Catholics, since Daendels ruled under the authority of Napoleonic France. This religious freedom would be consolidated later by Thomas Raffles. Daendels, known as an avid Francophile, built a new Governor-General Palace in smaller version Château de Versailles style in Batavia, known as Daendels Palace, which is often referred to Groot Wee. It is now Indonesia's Ministry of Finance office on the east side of Lapangan Banteng. He also renamed Buffelsveld to Champs de Mars. Daendels' rule oversaw the complete adoption of continental law into the colonial Dutch East Indies law system, retained even until today in Indonesian legal system. Indonesian law is often described as a member of the civil law or continental group of legal systems found in European countries such as France and the Netherlands. Daendels displayed a firm attitude towards the local Javanese rulers, with the result that the rulers later were willing to work with the British against the Dutch. He also subjected the population of Java to forced labor. There were some rebellious actions against this, such as those in Cadiz Panjarin, West Java. He also responsible for the dissolution of Banten Sultanate. In 1808, Daendels ordered Sultan Aliuddin II of Banten to move the Sultanate capital to Enia and to provide labor to build a new port planned to be built at Ujung Kulon. The Sultan refused Daendels' command, and in response Daendels ordered the invasion of Banten and destruction of Surasawan Palace. The Sultan, together with his family, was arrested in Puri Intan and held as a prisoner in Fort Spilwijik, and later sent into exile in Ambon. On the 22nd of November 1808, Daendels declared from his headquarters in Serang that the Sultanate of Banten had been absorbed into the territory of the Dutch East Indies. British rule 1811 to 1815. In 1811, Java fell to a British East India Company force under Baron Minto, the Governor-General of India. Lord Minto appointed Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles as Lieutenant Governor of Java. Raffles carried further the administrative centralization previously initiated by Daendels. He planned to group the regencies of Java into 16 residencies. He ended Dutch administrative methods, liberalized the system of land tenure, and extended trade. Raffles tried to implement the liberal economic principles and the cessation of compulsory cultivation in Java. Raffles took his residence at Buitenzorg, and despite having a small subset of Britons as his senior staff, he kept many of the Dutch civil servants in the governmental structure. He also negotiated peace and mounted some significant military expeditions against local Javanese princes to subjugate them into British rule. Most significant of these was the 21st of June 1812 assault on Yogyakarta, one of the two most powerful indigenous polities in Java. During the attack, the Yogyakarta Kraton was badly damaged and extensively looted by British troops. Raffles seized much of the contents of the court archive. The event was unprecedented in Javanese history. It was the first time an indigenous court had been taken by storm by a European army, and the humiliation of the local aristocracy was profound. Although peace returned to Central Java in the immediate aftermath of the British assault, the events may have fueled the deep-seated instability and hostility to European involvement that ultimately gave rise to the Java War of the 1820s. Raffles also ordered an expedition to Palembang in Sumatra to unseat the local Sultan, Mahmud Badruddin II, and to seize the nearby Bangka Island to set up a permanent British presence in the area. Other than Javanese court archives, Raffles also took numbers of Javanese important archaeological artifacts. artifacts, such as Buddha's head taken from Borobudur and two large ancient Javanese stone inscriptions, known today as Minto stone and Calcutta stone. Raffles particularly holds special interest on the history, culture and the people of Java. During his short reign, British Java saw the surge of archaeological surveys and government attention on local culture, art and history. His administration rediscovered the ruins of the great Buddhist mandala of Borobudur in central Java. Other archaeological sites in Java such as Prambanan Hindu Temple and ancient Majapahit city of Trowulan also came to light during his administration. Under Raffles' patronage, a large number of ancient monuments in Java were rediscovered, excavated and systematically catalogued for the first time. Raffles was the enthusiast of the island's history, as he read the book History of Java published later in 1817. In 1815, the island of Java was returned to control of the Netherlands following the end of Napoleonic Wars, under the terms of the Anglo-Dutch Treaty of 1814. In 1816, the Dutch regained the full control of the colony in Java and other parts of the archipelago. The Dutch would embark on the conquest over other independent polities in the archipelago. By 1920 they had consolidated the realm, a colonial state in Indonesian archipelago, established Dutch East Indies as one of the most profitable European colony in world's colonial history.